I think for me, probably the most disturbing thing we're seeing is the rates of their drug use.
Drug counselors say the case of a 14-year-old girl who overdosed after being injected by heroin was disturbing, but by no means surprising, and highlights a problem that exists throughout Alaska. Good evening. Police say that girl who overdosed is still in critical condition tonight.
We wondered how many other young girls like her are using multiple narcotics, often with older men. And we sent Channel 2's Ted Land out to meet with some of the Alaskans who deal with the problem on a daily basis. Ted.
Well, the word on the streets is that there are plenty of other girls like the one who made headlines this week after police say a man injected her with a powerful opiate, leaving her in very bad shape.
A lot more girls using drugs and using more different drugs.
That's what they're seeing at the Salvation Army's Booth Memorial Home, an Anchorage treatment center for girls aged 12 to 18.
They're meeting the criteria for dependence at 13, 14 years old, meaning they're experiencing withdrawals, they're having shakes, they're having blackouts. And that's kind of a new trend to see it that severe.
And there's often a connection to prostitution and sex trafficking. Many of the girls have been hanging out with older men, much like that 14-year-old who this past weekend ended up in critical condition after police say 26-year-old Sean Warner injected her with a potent form of heroin called China White. APD says the girl also had cocaine, meth, and marijuana in her system.
Any of us can buy it. Hang out at the bus station. It is just everywhere.
How did it get to this? Rosalina Doe, CEO of Aquila Incorporated, a nonprofit which specializes in prevention and treatment of drug abuse, says it's because, in part, Alaska is not doing enough to help drug abusers. The earlier, the better, she says, especially when it comes to rehab.
And that is far less expensive than courts and child protection and jail and police. But you will pay for them. The only choice you have is how much.
She says over the past 20 years, her budget of public dollars has only increased by about $1,000. The girls who end up in a facility like the Booth Memorial Home should consider themselves lucky. There are not many treatment centers like this in Alaska where a young woman living among such danger and despair is given the opportunity to turn her life around.
Now, parents, if you need some tips on how to talk with your kids about drugs, we've posted a few links with advice on the web version of this story, which is already posted online at ktuu.com.
Thanks, Ted. That's Channel 2's Ted Land reporting tonight.